Hey guys, I wanted to share a very simple concept and idea that, in my experience, brings a lot more peace into your life. And so, this is something very simple. It's a practice, like most things that I teach. These ideas are meant to sort of live with you, and you use them throughout your day, and hopefully, they will change your life. So, this is one, again, I think that can bring you more peace. Before I share it with you, go ahead and if you like this video, at the end of it, give me a thumbs up or a like or a heart, depending on where you are. That helps me spread the word. It helps to bring the videos up in the rankings. If you aren't subscribed or a Patreon member, please consider doing that. That really helps me out. If you're on YouTube, subscribing. If you're on Patreon, becoming a patron. And finally, if you have any questions about this or things you'd like to share, leave them in the comments. Again, wherever this video shows up, there's going to be a place for you to leave comments, so please do that. Okay, so what is this idea? This idea is just basically to mind your own business. And this might sound obvious to some of you. It might also sound like it's not impactful, but if you actually practice this, it is absolutely incredible how much peace it brings to you, because our minds are, you can think of them almost like an opinion generating machine, and that's just their job. They are designed to sort of take in information based on our past experiences, assimilate it, and then generate an opinion or an idea. And a lot of times these ideas are negative, and there's a evolutionary biological reason for this, that scientists assume now that the members of our species that survived were ones that had a kind of a skeptical view on things. So they worried about certain things. They saw danger where maybe there was no danger. They were more cautious. Now, this served us in the past. But now the world is so complex. There's so much information that we have access to. It's no longer, oh, is there a cheetah in that cave? Or there might be a cheetah in that cave, so I'm going to go around the cave. Simple, easy. When it's done, you forget about it. Now we have global politics, we have the environment, we have social and economic issues going on. So we live in a very complex time. And here's the thing, if there was a cheetah in the cave, there was something you could do about it. You had a thought about it and you could do something about it. I'm going to walk a little wider around that cave. Now, a lot of these issues, and this is for my conspiracy theorist friends, of which I have a few, conspiracies, things of these nature, if you examine them, you'll find that usually there's nothing for you to do, even if they're true, and they might be. Again, what do I know? I don't have an opinion about these things for the most part. So if a conspiracy is true, there's a global Illuminati that are trying to control your life. Well, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? So again, having an opinion about, oh, I think, there's a conspiracy. I think that the system is stacked against us, whatever it might be. That's a stressful thought. That's a stressful thought. It's an unpleasant thought, even if it is quote unquote true. And as one of my teachers likes to say, in fact, several teachers have said this, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Because you can't be both. So if we're more interested in being right, I know there's a conspiracy, I know this, I know that, well then it's a pretty dark way to live, isn't it? Sure, you might be right. That might be the truth. Or I know some people they get really upset about the federal government and how dysfunctional it is in this country. A lot of people are down on the federal government. So, okay, the federal government is a mess. Well, what are we going to do about it? Again, is there any direct action that you can take? Now, I'm talking about sort of global issues, but this applies from day to day as well. Do you have an opinion about your boss? Do you think your boss should be doing his or her job differently than they are? Ask yourself, is it really any of your business? And what are you going to do about it? Okay, if you think your boss should be performing his or her job differently, are you going to go to your boss and say, hey, I think you should do your job differently? Well, even if you do that, they may or may not listen to you. Then what? You tell them and they say, no thanks. I like the way I'm doing things as it is. So they don't listen. Okay, what then? So what you'll find is, as you go through your day, the things that you have the most power over are yourself. I'm not even going to say you have complete control over yourself, because I don't believe that's true, but you have more influence over yourself. And so letting go of all these opinions, all of these judgments, all of these ideas we have about what other people should be doing, whether it's, again, Nancy Pelosi or Donald Trump or this person or that person or groups of people. If you've never noticed that your brain generally just, again, produces an opinion about everything, even stuff you don't really know that much about. Again, many of us think because we watch the news or we have access to social media that makes us well informed. I would beg to differ. Again, a lot of these issues are complex issues with many layers to them. And if we're not careful in modern life, we plug into a certain network. And I don't mean necessarily television network, but it might include a television network. We might have certain papers that we read, certain blogs, certain channels that we watch. And they feed us a lot of times information that reinforces what we already believe, what our mind already believes. Our mind likes that. Again, the mind is an idea-producing machine, and it likes to be right. It loves to be right. So if we click on a video and it says, you're right about this, you're right about that, you're right, you're right, you're right, we're going to feel good. We're going to be like, yes, I knew it. I knew there was a conspiracy. I knew the government was a mess. Or if we talk to a friend at work, again, we have an opinion about our boss, and then somebody says, have you ever thought this about our boss? And then you say, yes, I did. They're a jerk. They don't know how to do their job, right? Our opinion has been validated by an outside source. We love that. Our mind loves that. But what I want you to notice is, again, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? So yes, I'm right. Now I know I work for a jerk. How has this made your life any better? Has it made your life any better? Are you going to go look for another job? Probably not. I think we've all been in those jobs where, whether it's the pay or the station or whatever it is, we find ourselves unable to move on, even though we have a superior who we may not have a very good opinion of. Now, again, I'm not saying you have to fall in love with them or you have to pretend to like them. That's not what I'm talking about here. Drop the opinion, drop the judgment. You will be happier for it. Let go of your opinion about things that really don't concern you and that you don't have control over, you don't have influence over. So again, politics, every so many years or months, we have a chance to vote. It's a good idea to get as much information as we can before we do that. But whatever information you have, you might have an opinion formed. Well, then you go and vote. But then maybe the rest of the time, you don't sit and just complain with people who already agree with your position. Again, this is different than having a debate or discussion, which I think is very healthy. And very often we do this with people who have different opinions than ours. And we spend more time listening. Right? Oh, you have a different opinion than me? Maybe you know something I don't know. So why don't I listen to you, what you have to say, and see what I can learn? You may or may not change my opinion with more information. All right? This is a very awake way of approaching things. And again, you might notice how quickly your mind, if someone disagrees with you, tries to discount the other person, the other party. So you might have a quote-unquote crazy uncle who comes to Thanksgiving every year and likes to talk politics and has very different views on politics than you do. Have you ever considered actually sitting down seriously and talking with this person and not trying to prove your point, but just actually opening up and listening? So anyway, guys, I think that's enough for today. The main thrust is this very simple idea of noticing throughout your day, throughout your week, when you are beginning to form an opinion about someone, a judgment about somebody, and you just simply let it go and mind your own business. How your boss performs his or her job really isn't your business. Yes, it affects you. Yes, politicians affect us. So I'm not saying that. But when I say mind your own business is, again, what sort of influence do you really have? What kind of control can you actually take over the situation? So having a strong opinion about something that we are powerless to do anything about generally leads to suffering. We feel powerless. We feel anxious. It just sort of stays in the back of our mind, and it's nothing we can take action about or do anything about. And I'll add, if you really feel strongly about something, by all means, take action. Maybe you join a political movement. Maybe you go and protest. Maybe there are things or actions that you can take. But with all things in my teaching, guys, I always teach you, never let anything take your peace. So if you are an activist, if you are a protester, if you are someone who's trying to create change in the world, that's a beautiful thing. But do it with peace and love in your heart. Love the people who you are trying to change and convince. You will not change them by hating them or by seeing them as lesser than you. And I promise you, they are not lesser than you, no matter what their view is. They might be ignorant, they might be confused, but maybe, just maybe, we're the one who's confused. Maybe you are the one that's confused. And again, if we really want to have an awake perspective, then we always have to entertain this possibility. Maybe I'm the one who's mistaken. Maybe I'm the one that's confused. All right, everyone, I hope you got something from this. Again, these talks are not about politics. They're not about right and wrong as the world sees it, but really about your inner state and finding that peace, joy, and love that resides within you. Because I believe that this is what's going to change the world. This is what's really going to change politics, our relationship with the environment, our relationship with the economy, is finding this peace, love, and joy within us, and then sharing that with our fellow human beings. So this, for me, comes first. Then the social and political change will follow naturally. Just my opinion. All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed that. Again, if you can, give me a thumbs up or a heart or a like. That really helps me out. Subscribe to the YouTube channel or join the Patreon page. Again, really helps me out. And if there's any comments or questions, I'd love to hear from you wherever you are. Namaste. Thank you.